So I had a conversation with my boomer dad and boomer uncles about why people didn't want to work anymore, and I said something.
Did you know that currently in 2023, there are 34 countries in war? Did you also know that in World War II, there were exactly the same amount of countries in conflict? Did you know that debt is now at record levels? Did you also know that an estimated 1 out of every 24 people worldwide will be jobless? Did you know that we will have history's strongest impact on overall economy? We may be looking at a recession that no human has ever seen before. And do you know what's funny? With everything going on right now, all billionaires worldwide will double the value of their wealth by the end of next year.
We need to be prepared for the next pandemic. We were not prepared for COVID-19, so we need to do better.
No. What you need to prepare is some money to pay me to inject myself with another one of your shots. Buckle up, peeps. 2024 is going to be one heck of a year.
Let's pretend tomorrow the housing market crashes and values plummet suddenly and everybody's home is worth $100,000 less. Then what? For starts, people aren't gonna sell their houses because why would they sell at a loss? And if for some reason the entire economy goes under, nobody has jobs, nobody has any money, and they have to sell, who do you think is gonna buy those houses? Because it's not me and it's not gonna be you. It's gonna be BlackRock and large corporations. They're gonna snatch up all these houses and turn them into overpriced rentals. Genuinely curious how people think this is going to pan out because I have my opinions as a mortgage lender and somebody who studies what's going on, but I'm genuinely curious what people think that the next couple steps are going to be.
So how expensive has rent gotten? Let's compare the last 50 years of average wages versus average rental costs. Check it out.
People should buy less Costa coffees and go on less holidays and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay the electricity bill.
A very large number of young people that don't want to work.
Buy 10 rental houses before you're 30 years old. If you can buy 10 rental houses.
Our landlord increased our rent by $7,000 a month.
Absolutely, when you're spending $40 a day on smashed avocado and coffee, it's not worth it.
Your tenants' reaction to the increase in the rent?
Not too good. Not too good. They're totally going crazy. Oh, I've got to get a property too.
There we have it. Please just send anyone who ever gives any of those nonsense arguments, just send them this clip. Please let's put an end to this nonsense discussion once and for all. Let's just get word out.
The leasing company emailed today to let me know that they are going to start charging for water by square foot of the apartment.
What you talking about?
Not the amount of water you use, not the number of occupants. By square foot. How much per square foot? I don't know. It'll be included on my next rent statement. Who doesn't love surprises? I am so sick of renting.
How did Argentina go from being one of the richest countries in the world to one crippled by soaring inflation and debt? To understand just how bad things are, take a look at this chart. The past few years have been difficult for the world economy, with average inflation in the high single digits. But Argentina's rate hasn't been that low in decades, and has been higher than 100% for almost all of 2023. A century ago, Argentina's GDP per person was higher than France's or Germany's. But decades of mismanagement have led to repeated economic crises. Argentina's inflation problem has a lot to do with this man, Juan Domingo Perón, elected president in 1946. Inspired by Mussolini's fascist Italy, Perón believed in nationalism and government intervention. He increased wages for the poor, but his expensive welfare schemes and embrace of economic isolationism laid the foundations for economic disaster. Today, Argentine politics is still dominated by Perón's legacy.
Yo, 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 I am your boy George. Yes, I am the true truck driver. If I told you guys, see this right here? Trucking, rail, recession, in logistics. Yes, freight. The freight is not coming off those containers, right? People are not ordering. These big stores, warehouses, they're not ordering freight from overseas. That means people in the United States, truck drivers, get laid off. That means we have barely a little bit of freight that's moving from here to there. Don't be sitting up on the phone trying to negotiate all that there with these brokers, because you're going to end up missing a load if you're trying to hold on. Look right here. I just told you. California truck drivers being laid off. The container drivers are being laid off. They don't have enough freight. All right? That's what's going on. When you don't have enough freight coming in, the spot market gets bare. All right? The freight is bare and the rates go down.
Who here has gone apartment hunting in the past, I don't know, probably a year or so, anytime past COVID? Because I'm about to go on a rant right now. Not only is everywhere stupid expensive, like exponentially expensive, way more than a mortgage nowadays, but then of course, most of us can't qualify for a mortgage. That's a whole nother conversation. First, not only are they super expensive, but they're asking you to make 3 times the rent. That's bananas to me. That's absolutely bananas, because I can make 1.5 times the rent and still pay rent every month on time because it's called budgeting. Like, as a millennial, I don't know, I feel like I budget well. I would love to make 3 times the rent. Trust me, I would love to make 3 times the rent. But in this day and age where inflation's a real thing, inflating our wages is not. Inflation's everywhere. Our wages are not going up. So how the hell is everybody getting an apartment nowadays?
This afternoon, Houston police showed up at this house on Majestic Oaks, spending more than an hour talking to the people living here. And for a while, Becky Larrabee was hopeful.
When the police were all here today and we saw that y'all were here to interview, there was a jubilation down on the next street when people were going, oh yeah, they're finally going to get them out.
But Houston police only towed away the trailer out front, declaring it abandoned. The people at the home were allowed to stay. According to police records, the family moved into this house in early March. The homeowners called law enforcement right away, but allegedly the occupants showed officers a lease.
They just kind of showed up, and we're not sure how they got in, because they come up with the lease. They're showing the police like they've got a fake lease of some kind.
We are witnessing the biggest recession to date ever that we've seen around the world and in the UK ever before. We have hundreds of shops which are closing, and we've seen it with Wilko and Boots. There's been announcements with other retailers that they'll be closing the shops, but it's not only in the UK. Let's see what's happening in the US.
What's going on? Tuesday morning is closing all 487 stores. All of them. They filed for Chapter 11. Foot Locker is closing up to 420 stores in the mall. Burger King is going to close up to 400 locations by the end of this year alone. Burger King! And we all know that Bed Bath & Beyond is closing all of their stores. And I don't know if they're completely closed yet, but they are on their way out. Walgreens did not hit their profit goals this year. They're closing up to 150 stores. That is crazy. Champs sports stores, they're closing 125. So basically, the malls are going to be deserted, y'all. This is too much. So Bye Bye Baby is already closed. They closed their stores at the end of June. So I hope y'all got them baby gifts. Lord have mercy. Journeys is closing 100 stores, and the Christmas tree shops is closing all 82 stores. Because it was one in Mishawaka, Indiana that I would go to. Lord, Christmas tree though? Bath & Body Works are closing 50 mall stores. What is going to be in the mall anymore? Like, what are we going to go in there and buy? I don't even know what Harmon is, right? But I know it's a subsidiary of Bed Bath & Beyond. They're closing all 50 of their stores. So this is not even going to be here anymore. That was at the end of June. I haven't seen a Shoe City in so long, but they're going to close all 39 of the stores that they have left. Or they have already closed them. Y'all, this is crazy. Y'all, Party City, they were hit really hard during the pandemic and have not bounced back yet. They're closing 31 stores. Party City, they're going to close up to 30 Best Buy stores. And from the reading, it's like this is a little higher than their normal pace of 15 to 20 closures per year. So they eventually going to shut down altogether. Child, when I saw this, Walmart is closing 22 stores across 12 states and Washington, D.C. Something is really going on. This recession is ridiculous. Nordstrom is closing 15 stores. And these 2 stores coming up next, you need to keep a lookout for. GameStop in Ireland is closing 35 locations. Child and Davis Bridal, there is no more holy matrimony.
We've now seen double-digit retailers closing in the US and in the UK. We've heard about Boots, Wilko, Clinton Cards have announced shops closing, Argos has announced shops closing, Wetherspoons have announced pubs closing. So we're seeing the biggest recession that we have seen for a long time. It's about time you brace yourselves and really get into your finances and really ensure that you are going to be okay for the next 8 months, 12 months, even 18 months, because it's going to be a bumpy, rocky ride. See you on the next.
So I had a conversation with my boomer dad and boomer uncles about why people didn't want to work anymore, and I said something that I think is true and I want to share it with you. First of all, let me share with you some of their condescending thoughts. One of the points my boomer relatives said is, why do people expect work to be good? It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be comfortable. That's why you call it work. We didn't expect it to be comfortable. We labored in uncomfortable situations and we did it in order to make a living. We didn't expect luxuries. You guys expect luxuries. And let's just derail the conversation twice here for a second. First of all, who is telling them that we want luxury? And that's something that for some reason we're unwilling to put up with uncomfortable situations. All of us worked through college. All of us. I don't know a single person who didn't have a job, who didn't work almost full time all the way through college, even though they were going to college full time. I did that. Almost everybody else I know did that. Secondly, most of us are just asking for healthcare and affordable housing. I don't understand where the concept of luxury is coming from. A place to sleep and have some money to buy food and then maybe go out every once in a while is most of what people are asking for. And not to be terrified of future and retirement and dying poor and lonely. So straight out of the gate, I don't know who is feeding them this bullshit narrative. Now, secondly, a little over a 20-year period of time, the dollar lost almost half of its value. And in 2000, most boomers were in their 40s when that began to happen. Since 1970, there's been a 500% increase or more in the consumer price index. A 1,500% increase in tuition, at least amongst higher education places like Harvard, and only a 10% increase in wages. In addition, baby boomers will not retire and get out of the way so that younger people can have careers, with 50% nearly of millennials and Gen Z, and 1/3 of Gen Xers saying that they've blocked their career progression. So let's return to the main criticism that these boomers had of millennials and Gen Z, that we didn't want to work, we didn't like working, we thought it was too uncomfortable and we didn't want to do it anymore. It's not that we don't want to. It's that the bargain used to be that for 2,000 hours of work a year-ish, you could afford a life. And that's just not true anymore. You can work as hard as you want, you're not going to get ahead. So work has always been bullshit. We've just realized that it's no longer worth doing because you don't get anything for it anymore.
We have an entire generation of people who are refusing to exit the workforce.
The boomers aren't refusing to leave the workforce just to be mean to the younger generations. They can't afford to leave the workforce. Do you actually expect them to give up their job just so someone else can have it?
Hi!
I'm so excited to see your new place!
Okay, just a spoiler, it's a little messy.
I'm so proud of you, I'm so excited.
Okay, don't judge, it's still new, but it's getting there.
Jeremy, where is the furniture? Why would you invite me if you have nothing here?
What do you need?
Do you even have a chair? You have one chair. What are we both going to sit on top of each other?
No, I've got a chair. Of course, I'm prepared for guests.
Okay, do you even have coffee? What are we going to have?
I have coffee,
You only have one mug.
Well, we can share. Come on, we're good friends like
Is
that.
there a cafe nearby? We cannot, Jeremy, we're not going. When was the last time you washed these?
The dishwasher hasn't come yet, but it's fine. Sit outside, come on. Bring the chair. Such a nice day. Look at this.
How long has that been outside?
It's just,
oh my gosh. Jeremy, just get out. We're sitting in the sun. I can't deal with you. That's it.
Okay. See, look. We can sit here, chat to the neighbors.
Listen up. As you can see, if you're feeling like the American dream has become the American lie, I'm here to tell you, you're right. And things are about to get even worse. According to this article, the average salary needed to afford an average home has shot up 50% since the pandemic started. Now that's shot up even 15% higher from last year. Now can you guess how much money you need to earn to afford the average home today? I'll tell you what this article says in a moment. And let's get real. The economy is on the brink of collapse. Massive debt, insane inflation, artificial intelligence replacing many traditional jobs, and countries ditching the US dollar. Like, are you prepared for that reality? Well, I have good news and bad news for you. There will be two types of people in this new world order. People that prepare now and thrive like a small minority of people do in any seismic economic shift. And then there would be people, many of them, that simply get buried underneath the rumble of this new jungle. Now, many won't even see this coming and will get caught with their pants down in the wind. But you're one of the lucky ones, especially since you're watching this video now in my pretty smile. Now, according to this article, home buyers would need to earn $114,000 per year to afford the typical U.S. home, while the average median annual salary is around $58,000. So at this point, it's clear. You have two choices. Stay stuck in this disintegrating old world or become the master of your destiny in a new one.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page about what the 2023 American dream is. Right? That dream is clearly getting out of America, right? Like, we don't want to live here. How do I get a job in Costa Rica? How do I get a job in Europe? Any companies hiring, not in America, hit me up. I got a crazy work ethic because we're toxic here. FYI, I will slow down my work ethic for your culture. I will do anything to get it. Oh, I hate it here.
A furnished apartment, one bedroom, cost me $135 a month. No! It went down $10 when I got rid of the furniture I was renting. I bought my own furniture after that.
My first apartment was in Chicago right out of college, and it was $750 a month. But then it did get condemned. It was a rough apartment, but it was technically affordable.
Well, I live with my parents. The first apartment where I gained consciousness was in Uptown, and I think my dad was paying about $1,200 for a one bedroom for a bunch of years, and I think it kept going up, and I think it wasn't until they got to like 1,000, maybe 900, that he was like, yeah, we're moving.
Journalists keep messaging me to talk about guardianship, and this is why I don't want to do it, because everywhere I look, this place is leaking, and I don't want to glorify guardianship like the rest of TikTok does. I pay for the privilege of looking after this building, and yet it's still falling apart, and still my rent is raised.